Hey learners, Jared here, and today we are going to be looking into, potential energy. Okay, so there are two types of potential energy that we are going to focus on. One is potential energy due to elasticity. That is, you have a rigid object and you perturb it from its natural equilibrium state and it wants to recoil back to that point. Bows, slingshots, I always list three things. All of these things are something that you stretch or compress, you perturb it from its equilibrium position, and then it will try and recoil back to that spot. That is elastic potential energy. Another type of potential energy is when you have to work against something else. Whew. Gravity. Hey, LaCroix, if you're interested, probably not going to hear from him. Now, potential energy due to gravity is when you have hoisted something from another natural equilibrium state, i.e. the lowest point that it can be, like the ground or the ledge or somewhere where this object was resting. It's empty, by the way, it's empty. But you take an object from that equilibrium position and you work against gravity. That is, you fight against the force of gravity that wants to bring it down. Just like whenever I stretched the bow, I worked against the rigidness of that bow and it tried to bring that object back. And once I released the object, then it did, and it pulled the arrow into the door. Let's start with elastic potential energy and what affects how much elastic potential energy an object has. So for example, this bow. If I barely perturb the object from its equilibrium state, then I get just very little kinetic energy out. I get very little oomph, bang for my buck, so to say. If I pull the object further, that is, perturb it further from that equilibrium position, now I can get much more energy out, but it's because I had more potential to begin with. The further I stretch that object, the more potential energy I am giving it. The same is true for gravitational potential energy. The further I move this object from its equilibrium state, that is on the ground, the more potential energy that object is going to have. The further I've perturbed it from that equilibrium position. Now, what does it take to give an object potential energy? Well, we'll work on that in the next video. You'll laugh later once you see how potential energy is gotten. It's from work. It's from work. And as always, keep learning.